I'm Sophia Reynolds, 27 years old. Last Mother's Day, my mother sent me a bill for $389,000. The subject line read, "The cost of raising a disappointment." She CC'd all 51 relatives in our family, every aunt, uncle, cousin, and in-law from New York to Florida. She thought I would cry. She thought I would apologize. She thought I would shrink into myself like I always did. But this time I replied with a single photo. By the next morning, 50 of them had blocked her. The 51st, my grandmother didn't block her. She did something far worse. Before I tell you what that photo was and what my grandmother did, please take a moment to like and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy this story. Drop a comment and let me know where you're watching from and what time it is there. Now let me start from the beginning. My phone lit up on the kitchen counter. It was the family group chat. Mom had typed in big letters, "Big news. Mother's Day reunion at Grandma Harriet's farmhouse. All 51 of us. No excuses. Let's make it special." I read it twice, my coffee going cold in my hand. My chest felt tight, like someone had squeezed it hard. I work as a financial analyst in Philadelphia. Numbers are my world. They add up clean. They never pretend to care and then stab you in the back. People do that. Especially my family. My apartment is small, just 600 square feet in Fishtown. I pay every penny myself. No gifts, no help. My sister Brooke, 3 years older, just bought a huge house in Haverford. Mom and Dad gave her $87,000 for the down payment. I found out from her Instagram smiley post. So blessed, it said. My hands shook when I saw it. Ethan, my boyfriend of 2 years, walked in from the bedroom. He saw my face. "What's wrong, Soph?" he asked, voice soft. He pulled me into a hug, his arms warm around me. I leaned into him for a second, but the knot in my stomach stayed. "Why do you still go to these things?" he said, stepping back to look at me. "Your mom hurts you every time. Brooke acts like queen. Your dad just watches. You come home sad for days after. Why keep trying?" I looked down at the floor. My voice came out small. "She's my mom, Ethan. Part of me still hopes. Maybe if I smile more, help more, stay quiet, she'll see me like she sees Brooke. Like I'm enough." Tears burned my eyes. I blinked them away fast. I know it's dumb, but I remember when I was little, before everything felt wrong, she used to read me stories, laugh at my jokes. I miss that mom. What if she's still in there? He sighed, rubbing my back. "You're enough for me. For your job. You graduated magna cum laude from Villanova. You built your life with no help. But they don't see it, and it kills me to watch you hope every time." I nodded, but inside my mind raced. Growing up, Brooke was the golden girl. Good grades? Praise. My good grades? Why not perfect? Mom would say with that tight smile. Brooke's law firm party? Everyone flew in with cake and cheers. My college graduation in 2023? Mom got a migraine and skipped it. 1 week later, she flew to Chicago for Brooke's awards, posting pictures with my brilliant daughter. I liked the post anyway. That's what good daughters do. The college fund hurt worst. Grandma and Grandpa set up trusts for both of us. Same amount. Brooke used hers. 0 debt. Mine? Mom said it ran out from extra costs in high school. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? But 3 years ago, right after I turned 24, my CPA found weird things on my credit report. Strange tax notes. I started digging. Quietly. I made a secret folder on my laptop called Insurance. Just in case. A screenshot. A PDF. A spreadsheet. Proof of lies. That night after the reunion text, Ethan made pasta. I ate without tasting it. Later, alone in bed, I opened the folder. My heart pounded loud in my ears. Mom's big reunion felt like a trap, like she was setting up the stage to hurt me again, bigger than before. I closed the laptop, but sleep wouldn't come. I stared at the dark ceiling, fear mixed with old sadness. What if today was the day I finally fought back? What if it broke everything? Next morning I drove to Bucks County anyway. The sun was just rising when I pulled up to Grandma Harriet's old white farmhouse. Dew sparkled on the grass. I grabbed my bags and went inside to start cooking and cleaning for 51 people. My hands worked fast, but my mind whispered, "This time feels different. Be ready." The old farmhouse kitchen smelled like lemon polish and fresh bread. I tied on an apron and got to work. Knives chopped carrots and onions. The oven hummed low. My hands moved steady, the way they do when I balance spreadsheets at my desk, numbers that always tell the truth. But my mind spun wild. What if this reunion is the big trap? What if Mom finally says out loud what she's whispered for years? A sharp pain hit my chest. I missed the mom from my little girl days. the one who let me stir cookie dough and called me her helper. That mom felt warm, like sunlight on the porch steps. This mom, she felt cold, like the early dew outside. By 9 o'clock the counters were full of salads and casseroles. My back ached, but I kept going. I thought about Ethan's words from last night. You don't have to prove anything anymore. He was right, yet here I stood, alone again, making everything perfect so no one could say I didn't try. Tears stung my eyes. I wiped them fast with my sleeve. Don't cry now. Save it for later if you need it. At 11:30 the front door opened with a happy squeak. Brooke swept in, cream silk dress flowing, peonies in her arms that smelled sweet and expensive. She looked like she had stepped out of a magazine. Mom rushed over and kissed her on both cheeks. My beautiful girl. You look stunning. Brooke smiled big. Thanks, Mom. The house looks amazing already. She glanced around, eyes landing on me in the kitchen doorway. Sophia, you're here early as always. Thanks for handling all this setup stuff. I brought wine, really good stuff. Want me to open one now? I forced a smile, wiping my hands on the apron. Inside, my stomach twisted. Same old line. Like usual. Sure, Brooke, that'd be nice. I've been here since 7, so maybe a small glass later. She stepped closer, voice dropping like we shared a secret. You always do so much. I don't know how you manage with your little apartment and that job. Must be exhausting. Her eyes flicked over my simple jeans and t-shirt. A tiny pause hung there, long enough for me to feel it. But hey, we all have our strengths, right? I'll help with the flowers after I freshen up. I nodded, throat tight. Yeah, strengths. The word tasted bitter. In my head I saw my balance sheet. Hours worked, loans paid, rent covered alone. Clean numbers. Hers, gifted house, gifted life. Why does trying harder never add up for me? Guests started arriving just before noon. Cars crunched on the gravel drive. Aunts hugged Mom like she was the star. Uncles clapped Dad on the back. Kids raced through the halls, laughter bouncing off the old wooden walls. The house felt alive, but heavy too, like it held every quiet hurt I'd ever swallowed here. I stayed near the kitchen, refilling trays, smiling when people said hello. No one asked how I was. They never did. Then came the family photo. Mom lined everyone on the wide porch steps, sun warm on our faces. She placed Brooke right beside her, arm around her shoulders. Perfect, honey. Smile big. When I moved forward, Mom's eyes flicked to me. Sophia, sweetie, go stand in the back row. You're taller, you'll block the little ones. Her voice was sweet as sugar, but her smile didn't reach her eyes. I stepped back without a word. My heart beat harder. Always the back, always the shadow. Just then Grandma Harriet slid in beside me. Her hand found my elbow and squeezed tight, strong for 73 years old. She leaned close, voice low so only I could hear. Whatever happens today, Sophia, hold your ground. You hear me? Don't let her push you down. Not this time. Her eyes locked on mine, steady and serious. A chill ran down my arms. She knows something. She's warning me. I nodded once, throat dry. I will, Grandma. The camera clicked. Everyone smiled, but inside I felt the air grow thicker like a storm was coming. Lunch followed, roast I had cooked since dawn, plates passed hand to hand, voices rose and fell. I ate little, my mind kept replaying Grandma's words. Hold your ground. What did she see coming that I didn't? After plates were cleared, Uncle Michael stood first for the toasts. To the heart of this family. Glasses clinked. Aunt Patricia wiped happy tears. Cousin after cousin praised mothers, praised Mom especially. She sat tall, soaking it in like warm sun. I stayed quiet in my chair, hands folded tight in my lap. My turn never comes. But today maybe I make my own. Then Mom rose. She smoothed her lavender dress, picked up her wine glass. The room went still, my pulse thumped loud in my ears. She started soft and warm. Being a mother is the hardest, best job. I've been blessed with 2 very different daughters. Her eyes found mine across the table, a small sharp smile, the kind that said, watch this. I gripped my phone under the table. The insurance folder waited inside. My breath came shallow. This is it, the moment everything changes. Fear and sadness swirled together, fear of losing what little family I had left, sadness for the mom I once loved. But under it all burned something new, quiet strength. Numbers don't lie, and today neither would I. Mom reached for her phone. I've prepared something special, a gift for all of you, and for one daughter in particular. Phones started buzzing across the room, ding after ding. My stomach dropped like a stone. Phones buzzed all around the room like angry bees. Ding, ding, 51 times. Hands reached for pockets and purses, faces lit up with screens. I sat frozen in my chair, heart hammering so hard I felt it in my throat. This is it, the moment she's been saving for years. Mom's voice rang out clear and proud. I want everyone to see exactly what it cost to raise a disappointment. She started reading from her phone, line by line, like she was giving a speech at a fancy dinner. Hospital birth, $13,900. Diapers for the first 2 years, $3,100. Childhood clothes, $17,500. Each number hit me like a slap. I stared at the tablecloth, but inside my head pictures flashed fast. Me as a tiny girl in that hospital, Mom holding me close and whispering soft words I could barely remember now. Where did that mom go? The one who rocked me when I was sick? The one who made me feel safe? She kept going. Braces, $9,000. Summer camps, $5,000. First car, $13,500. College room and board, $54,000. Her voice grew stronger with every line. Cell phone bills, $9,400. She looked right at me. On and on it goes. $389,000 total. A nervous laugh came from somewhere in the back. Someone coughed. Eyes turned to me. Some full of pity, some curious, some just staring like I was a bug under a glass. My stomach twisted tight. She turned my whole life into a price tag. I thought about my tiny apartment, the late nights paying bills from my paycheck, the student loans that still sat heavy on my shoulders, numbers I controlled, numbers that proved I was strong. But this was her way of saying I was never worth it. Tears burned behind my eyes. I wanted to run. I wanted to scream, but mostly I felt a deep, heavy sadness for the family we could have been. The laughs, the hugs, the I'm proud of you that never came. Mom walked to the fireplace with a big gold frame in her hands. She hung it right next to our family picture. A reminder for all of us, she said, turning to face the room with a smile that looked sweet but felt sharp. This is what a thankless child costs. This is disappointment in dollars and cents. The room went dead quiet. 50 pairs of eyes waited. They wanted me to cry, to say sorry, to shrink small like always. My hands should have shaken. They didn't, because in my pocket my phone waited with the insurance folder. 3 files, 3 years of quiet truth. I took a slow breath, the kind I take before I stand up in a big meeting at work and show clients why their numbers don't add up. Time to balance the books. I stood up slow. My chair scraped loud on the wood floor. Every head turned. Mom's eyes narrowed. Sophia, sit down. This isn't the time. I looked straight at her. My voice came out calm and clear, like I was explaining a budget report. Actually, Mom, it's the perfect time. You shared your numbers. Now I'll share mine. I pulled out my phone. My thumb hovered over the send button. Inside, fear and old love mixed together in a messy knot. Part of me still wants you to hug me and say it was all a mistake. But that part is getting smaller every second. I tapped send. The dings started again, fast and loud, spreading through the room like little explosions. Mom's face went pale. What did you just send? The truth, I said quietly. You showed what I cost you. I'll show what you cost me. Uncle Michael looked up from his phone first, forehead wrinkled. Deborah, what is this? I stepped closer to the middle of the room. My legs felt strong even though my chest hurt like someone was squeezing it. Mom, you charged me for college in your bill. Room, board, books, everything. But here's the real story. I held up my phone so people nearby could see the PDF. Grandma and Grandpa Whitaker set up education trusts for both me and Brooke. Same amount, $96,000 each. Gasps rippled through the room. I kept my voice steady. Brooke used hers. She graduated with no loans. Mine, it was taken out in full on August 5th, 2019, 1 month before I started college. Every penny went into your personal account. 1 week later you bought a new BMW. Cash. Dad stood up slow, face white as paper. Deborah, is this true? Mom's mouth opened, but no words came at first. Then she said fast, it was for family expenses. You don't understand, Thomas. I understand bank records, I cut in, still calm like I was in my office fixing someone else's messy accounts. I understand wire transfers. You stole my college money and let me take out $74,000 in loans while I worked 2 jobs. You drove around in luxury while I worried about rent every month. Aunt Patricia covered her mouth with her hand. Cousin Michael frowned deep. The air in the room felt thicker, heavier, like right before a big thunderstorm. Mom's hands twisted together. For the first time all day she looked small. But I wasn't done, not even close. I scrolled to the next part on my screen, and that's only the beginning. I opened the second file on my phone and held it up so the nearest aunts and uncles could see the neat columns of dates and numbers. My voice stayed even, the same steady tone I use when I tell a client their books are off by thousands. For the last 6 years, Mom claimed me as a dependent on her taxes. Every single year from 2020 to 2025. Even when I was 23, living alone in my own apartment, paying my own rent and bills. Aunt Patricia gasped. Uncle George, the retired accountant, leaned forward, eyes narrowing. Deborah, you can't claim an adult child who's fully independent. That's not right. I nodded once. I know, I had to hire my own CPA to fix the mess. It cost me $3,800 out of my pocket. And the tax benefits she got each year, between $4,000 and $6,000, total around $35,000 in money that wasn't hers, using my social security number. The room felt colder now, like someone had opened all the windows at once. Whispers started. Chairs creaked as people shifted. Dad's hands gripped the edge of the table so hard his knuckles turned white. Deborah, he said slowly, voice cracking a little, you told me Sophia agreed to this. You said she wanted to help the family. Was any of that true? Mom's face went tight. She tried to smile, but it looked shaky. Thomas, it was just paperwork. I was helping us. You know how expensive everything is. You never meant to commit tax fraud. I cut in quietly. I looked straight at her, but inside my chest felt like it was cracking open. All those years I thought I was the problem. The difficult daughter. And you were stealing from me while I worked 2 jobs and ate cheap noodles so I could pay rent. I remembered the nights I cried alone in my tiny apartment staring at loan statements wondering why I felt so worthless. Now I knew. It wasn't me. It was her. Uncle George shook his head. This could be federal trouble, Deborah. Serious trouble. Mom's eyes darted around the room looking for someone to defend her. No one did. Her voice rose a little. I was protecting the family. You don't understand what it's like to. I understand numbers, I said. My hands were steady even though my heart hurt so bad it felt like it might stop. And I understand you used my name without asking, just like you used my college money. I took a slow breath and scrolled to the 3rd file. The room went even quieter. You could hear the old grandfather clock ticking in the hallway. There's one more thing, I said softly. Remember when I tried to rent my first apartment after college, Mom? I got turned down because my credit score was 520. I was 22. I'd never missed a payment in my life. Never even had a credit card. I opened the attachment and turned the phone so more people could see the bank statements and credit reports. 3 credit cards opened in my name between 2019 and 2021, all maxed out. $52,000 in debt for things I never bought. Designer bags, electronics, jewelry. It took me 4 years, 2 lawyers and hundreds of hours on the phone to fix it. Aunt Martha's hand flew to her chest. That's identity theft, Deborah. That's a crime. I looked at Brooke. She was staring at the table, face pale. And one of those cards had the statements mailed straight to your house, Brooke. I have the shipping receipts, your address, your signature on the delivery slips. Brooke's head snapped up. Her eyes were wide and shiny. Sophia, Mom said it was an emergency. She said you wouldn't notice and that it would help the family. I didn't know how bad it was. I stepped closer to her. My voice stayed calm, but inside I felt like I was falling. My own sister. The one I used to share a bedroom with. The one who used to sneak me cookies when Mom was mad. An emergency that lasted 4 years, buying a $9,500 engagement ring on my name and wearing it to your wedding. Was that an emergency too? Brooke's husband Derek stared at the diamond on her finger like it burned him. Brooke started to cry real tears. I was scared, okay? Scared Mom would turn on me next. Scared I'd end up like you alone, Brooke, the family disappointment. She told me you'd never find out. She promised. You helped her steal from me, I said quieter now. You knew the packages were coming to your door and you signed for them. You wore my stolen identity like it was nothing. The whispers grew louder. Some people stood up. Others just stared. Mom's face had gone completely white. She reached toward me, hand shaking. Sophia, please. This is family business. Not here. Not like this. I looked at her for a long second. My throat felt tight with all the old hurt. The birthdays where my gifts came last. The holidays where she compared me to Brooke like I was a mistake. You made it everyone's business when you sent that bill to all 51 people, I said. You wanted to shame me in front of the whole family. Now they get to see the real numbers. I held up my phone again. 1 file left, the big one. My thumb hovered over it. Mom's eyes locked on mine, and for the first time all day I saw real fear there, the kind that said she knew exactly what was coming. I didn't open it yet. I let the silence stretch, heavy and thick. My heart pounded so loud I could hear it. This is the part that will break everything. But I have to. For me. For the truth. I looked straight at Mom across the quiet room. My thumb still hovered over the send button. The air felt thick and heavy, like the old farmhouse was holding its breath with me. My heart beat so hard it hurt. This is the one secret that explains everything. Why she hated me from the day I was born. Why I was never enough. Why every look from her felt like ice. I thought about all the nights I lay in my small apartment wondering what I did wrong. Now I knew. I wasn't the problem. I was the proof of her mistake. Mom saw my face and stepped closer. Her voice came out low and shaky, almost a whisper, but everyone could hear. Sophia, stop, please. Whatever you think you have, don't do this. There are things you don't know, things I've kept hidden to protect you. If you send that, it will change everything. You'll wish you never opened your mouth. I felt a cold shiver run down my back. Her eyes were wide, desperate. For a second, old love tugged at me, the mom who used to tuck me in and call me her little star. But that mom was gone. This one had spent 27 years making me pay for her secret. You're right, Mom, I said slowly. There is something I didn't know until 3 years ago. Something that explains why you treated me like I was broken from the start. She reached out her hand like she could grab my phone. Sophia, no. I'm begging you. Think about your father. Think about what this will do to him. To us. I was young, scared. I made one mistake. One mistake that lasted 27 years. I cut in. My voice steady but my chest aching. You punished me every single day because I reminded you of it. You stole from me. You lied about me. You made the whole family think I was the disappointment. And all this time you were hiding the biggest lie of all. Tears started running down her face. She pressed a hand to her chest like she couldn't breathe. I gave you everything, and this is how you thank me? In front of the whole family? I'm your mother. I carried you. I raised you. Please, baby, don't destroy us. The room stayed dead quiet. Some aunts looked like they wanted to comfort her out of habit. Dad sat frozen, staring at her like he didn't know her anymore. Grandma Harriet watched with stone-cold eyes. I felt my own tears burn, but I pushed them back. I loved you so much. I tried so hard. And you never loved me back. Not really. I held up my phone so everyone could see I was ready. You planned this whole day to shame me with your bill. You wanted to break me in front of 51 people. Now I'm showing the truth. This is why you've hated me since the day I was born. I pressed send. The dings exploded again, fast, loud like gunshots in the silent room. Mom lunged toward me. Delete it. Make them delete it right now. Her voice cracked, raw and ugly. Uncle Michael grabbed her arm gently but firm. Deborah, stop. Let them read. I watched their faces as the screenshot loaded. First confusion, then eyes going wide. Aunt Patricia's hand flew to her mouth so hard it made a soft slap sound. Uncle George sat down heavy in his chair like his legs gave out. Cousin Michael dropped his phone on the table with a clatter. The message was right there for everyone. A text from Mom to Brooke dated July 15, 2022. This one isn't Thomas's biological child. Don't tell anyone. If he finds out, he'll divorce me and I'll lose everything. The room went completely still. You could hear the wind outside rustling the trees. Then Dad spoke. His voice was barely more than a whisper, broken like glass. Deborah, what is this? Mom shook her head fast, mascara running in black lines down her cheeks. It's not. I can explain. It was one time. I was 19 and stupid. I panicked when I found out I was pregnant. I thought if I just never said anything. Brooke's voice came out small and hollow from across the table. It's real. She sent it to me 3 years ago, made me promise never to tell. Dad made a sound I had never heard before, a deep hurt noise like an animal in pain. He stood up slow, chair scraping loud. His eyes looked empty. 27 years, he said to no one. 27 years I loved you like my own. He turned and walked straight to the door without looking at anyone. Mom ran after him, grabbing his sleeve. Thomas, please, don't go. It doesn't change anything. You're still her father. He pulled his arm free gently. It changes everything, Deborah. The front door opened and closed with a soft click. Then his car started up outside. The engine faded down the long driveway. He was gone. I stood there feeling like the floor had dropped out from under me. He wasn't my real dad by blood, but he taught me to ride a bike. He helped with my math homework. He walked me into school on my first day, and now he knows the truth because of me. A sharp pain hit my heart, grief so deep it made my knees weak. I had just broken the man who loved me most, but I also set him free from her lies. Mom sank onto the couch, crying loud and ugly now. Everything I did was to keep this family together. I protected all of you. No one moved to hug her. Aunt Martha said quietly, "You protected yourself, Deborah. That's all." People started standing up, grabbing coats, whispering. Cars began pulling out of the driveway one by one. The big family reunion was over. The house felt colder, emptier. I walked outside to find Dad's car still at the end of the drive, engine running. He sat staring straight ahead, hands tight on the wheel. I knocked softly on the window. He unlocked the door without looking at me. I slid in. We sat in silence for a long minute, the late sun making long shadows across the hood. "I'm so sorry, Dad," I whispered, tears finally falling. "I never wanted to hurt you. I couldn't let her keep lying." He turned to me, eyes red and wet. "Don't you dare be sorry, Sophia. You didn't do anything wrong. 27 years I changed your diapers, taught you to drive, helped you move into that tiny apartment. DNA doesn't change that. You're still my daughter. You hear me?" I nodded, crying harder now. He pulled me into a big hug over the center console, strong and warm like when I was little. "You were braver today than I've ever been," he said into my hair. Then he let go, wiped his eyes, and drove away slow. I walked back inside. Only about 15 people were left, looking shocked and lost. Mom sat alone on the couch, hair messy, makeup ruined. She looked small and broken. For the first time, I didn't feel scared of her. I felt sorry for the woman who had spent her whole life running from one mistake. I sat down across from her. My voice came out quiet and steady. "You spent 27 years punishing me because every time you looked at me you saw your own lie. I'm not the disappointment, Mom. I was the reminder." She covered her face with her hands and sobbed. I was scared. I didn't know what else to do. "I know," I said, "but I'm done paying for it. From now on, leave me alone. If you ever try to contact me, show up at my work, or tell more lies about me, the next call won't be to family. It will be to the police and the IRS. I have every proof saved." She looked up, face pale. "You can't just cut me out." "I can," I said softly, "and I will. Goodbye, Mom." I stood up and walked out. My hands didn't shake, not even a little. I stepped out of Grandma Harriet's farmhouse into the cool evening air. The sun had dipped low, painting the long driveway in soft orange light. My car sat alone now, most of the others already gone. I climbed in, closed the door, and just sat there for a minute. My hands rested on the wheel, still steady, no shaking. But inside, my heart felt raw and open, like someone had cut it with a sharp knife and left it bleeding. 27 years of believing I was the problem. 27 years of trying to earn a love that was never mine to have. A single tear slipped down my cheek. I wiped it away fast and started the engine. The drive back to Philadelphia felt longer than usual. Trees blurred past. Streetlights flickered on one by one. I thought about Dad's broken voice in the car, about Mom's ruined face on the couch, about Brooke's tears when she admitted helping. Was any of it real? The bedtime stories, the family dinners, the times she called me honey, or was it all just acting so no one would guess her secret? The pain sat heavy in my chest, but so did something new. Quiet relief, like a storm had finally passed and left the sky clear. Ethan was waiting when I walked through the door of my little apartment. The smell of fresh tea filled the room. He took one look at my face and pulled me into his arms. We stood there for a long time, his chin resting on my head. "Tell me everything," he said softly. "I'm right here." We sat on the couch. I sipped the warm tea while the words poured out. The bill, the emails I sent, the college money, the taxes, the credit cards, Brooke's part in it, and finally the screenshot that changed everything. My voice stayed calm, but tears came when I talked about Dad driving away. He said I'm still his daughter, no matter what. But I saw his heart break right in front of me. "Ethan, because of me." Ethan held my hand tight. "Not because of you, because of her lies. You did the bravest thing I've ever seen. You chose truth over pretending. That takes real strength, Soph. The kind you use every day at work when you fix other people's messy numbers. You fixed yours today." I leaned against him, feeling safe for the first time all day. Then my phone started buzzing, over and over. I picked it up with shaky fingers. The family group chat was exploding, messages flying fast. "Aunt Patricia, I had no idea. Sophia, I'm so sorry we never saw it. I watched her treat you that way for years and said nothing. That stops now. Uncle George, what your mother did with the taxes and credit cards is wrong. I'm here if you need help with any paperwork. Cousin Beth, you were so brave standing up there. I always felt something was off but never asked. I should have." One by one, people were leaving the chat or blocking Mom. The number next to her name dropped. 48, 49, 50. I read every message, my eyes filling up again. They see me now. After all this time, they finally see me. It didn't fix everything, but it felt like warm light after years of cold. Then, at 11:47 p.m., a single text came in from Grandma Harriet. No group chat, just me. I need to see you tomorrow. 9 a.m. My house. Come alone. I stared at the words. My stomach did a little flip. What now? More truth? More pain? Or something else? Ethan read it over my shoulder. You don't have to go if you're not ready. I have to, I whispered. She warned me today. She knew something was coming. I need to know what she's thinking. That night I barely slept. I lay in the dark, staring at the ceiling, wondering what tomorrow would bring. The farmhouse would feel different now, quieter, emptier. But Grandma Harriet had always been steady, like an old oak tree that doesn't bend in the wind. Maybe she had one more surprise waiting. The next morning I drove back to Bucks County. The dew was still on the grass when I pulled up. The front door stood open like an invitation. I walked through the quiet hallway to the study at the back. Grandma sat behind her big oak desk. Papers covered it. A man in a gray suit stood beside her. Thomas Jameson, the family lawyer I'd met at Grandpa's funeral years ago. Sit down, dear, Grandma said, her voice warm but firm. I took the chair across from her. My heart beat fast. She didn't waste time. I didn't block your mother. Blocking would have been too easy. What I did instead is permanent. She slid a thick document across the desk. At 2 o'clock this morning I called Thomas. We rewrote my will. Your mother's share dropped from 35% to 6%, just enough so she can't fight it in court. Your share went from 10% to 32%. Your dad stays the same. He's a victim too. I stared at the paper, words swimming. Grandma, I didn't expect this. I wasn't trying to get anything from you. She smiled a small, sad smile. I know. That's exactly why you deserve it. I suspected for years that something was wrong with how she treated you. The trusts your grandpa and I set up. We made them because we worried about her. We never thought she'd steal from her own child. Tears slipped down my cheeks. Grandma reached over and squeezed my hand. I tried to give you a graduation gift right after your ceremony in 2023. $55,000. Your mother said you didn't want it, that you wanted to do everything yourself. She lied again. She handed me a thick cream envelope. Inside was the check, still dated 2023, and a handwritten letter in her neat writing. To my granddaughter Sophia, may your future shine brighter than anyone expects. You've always been special. Love, Grandma Harriet. I held the letter to my chest and cried quietly. Grandma stood and hugged me tight. You're still my granddaughter. Blood or no blood. That never changes. As I walked back to my car feeling lighter than I had in years, Brooke stepped out from behind the big oak tree by the driveway. Her eyes were puffy, no makeup, hair in a messy ponytail. She looked smaller, real. Sophia, please. Just 2 minutes. I stopped but didn't turn right away. My chest tightened. My sister. The golden one. The one who helped steal from me. She took a shaky breath. I know I don't deserve to talk to you. I was wrong. So wrong. I didn't know about the credit cards at first, but when I found out, I should have stopped it. I was scared. Scared Mom would treat me the way she treated you. Scared I'd lose everything too. That's no excuse. I'm sorry, Sophia. For all of it. I turned and looked at her. My voice came out soft but honest. I can't forgive you yet. Maybe never. But I understand fear. It makes people do things they hate later. Look at Mom. I paused. I need time, Brooke. A lot of it. She nodded, tears in her eyes. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. No pressure. We didn't hug. We just stood there a moment. Two sisters with a broken bridge between us. Then I got in my car and drove away. The road felt open now, like maybe someday pieces could be put back together. But not today. 2 months slipped by like pages turning in a quiet book. My credit score climbed to 708, clean and bright, like a spreadsheet finally balanced after years of messy entries. I used part of Grandma Harriet's check to pay down my student loans to just $26,000. Not gone, but lighter. Manageable. The kind of number that let me breathe easier at night. Ethan and I found a new place together in Old City. 1 bedroom bigger than my old apartment, with real counter space in the kitchen and windows that let in morning light. We packed boxes side by side, laughing when we argued over where the couch should go. No one else's opinion mattered, just ours. Moving day, Dad showed up with a greenhouse plant in one hand and a bottle of red wine in the other. His eyes looked tired, but there was a softness in them I hadn't seen in years. He set the plant on the windowsill and watched the sunlight hit the leaves. Looks good here, he said quietly. You two building something real. I hugged him tight in the half-empty living room. How are you, Dad? Really? He sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. The divorce papers are almost final. Next month. I'm staying with Uncle Bill in Harrisburg for now. It's strange. 27 years of mornings with the same person, and now the house is empty. But every time I think about it, I remember that day at the farmhouse. You standing up there, calm as could be. You gave me the truth I never knew I needed. I don't regret a single day of raising you, Sophia. Not one. Tears filled my eyes. You're still my dad. Always. He squeezed my shoulder, voice thick. And you're still my girl. That's the only math that matters. We started new Sunday dinners. Just the three of us. Me, Dad, and sometimes Ethan. Grandma Harriet drove down from Bucks County once a month too. Simple food, soft laughs, no big crowds, no hidden bills or sharp words. The kind of evenings that felt like healing, slow and steady. Then, 3 weeks after we moved, a plain white envelope arrived in the mail. No return address. Postmarked from Ohio. I sat at our new kitchen table and opened it with careful fingers. Inside was one sheet of paper, typed neat and short. Dear Miss Reynolds, I received your DNA profile through 23andMe and saw we share a biological connection. My name is Michael. I believe I may be your father. I'm not looking for anything from you. I just thought you should know I exist. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. Michael. I read it 3 times. My hands stayed steady, but inside my chest everything swirled. Shock like cold water, a strange warmth of curiosity, and a deep old grief for the life I thought I had. Another father. A man I've never met who helped make me. But Dad is the one who stayed, the one who taught me to add numbers and ride a bike. I pictured Mom at 19, scared and lying to everyone. The weight of her secret had crushed so much. Now here was this gentle letter, offering a door I didn't know if I wanted to open. Ethan found me still sitting there when he got home from work. He read the letter over my shoulder, then pulled up a chair close. What are you feeling, Soph? I stared at the paper. I don't know. Part of me is mad at Mom all over again for hiding this. Part of me wonders what he's like. Does he laugh like me? Does he like numbers too? But mostly, I already have a dad. Thomas Reynolds. The man who never left. This Michael isn't asking to replace him. He's just letting me know. Ethan took my hand. You spent 27 years letting other people decide who you are. Your mom decided you were the problem. The family believed her. Now this is your choice. Only yours. No rush. I nodded slowly. That night I sat at my laptop for a long time, fingers hovering over the keys. Finally I typed, Dear Michael, thank you for reaching out with so much respect. I received your letter, and it means a lot that you didn't push. I'm not ready to meet or talk yet. I need time to let everything settle. But I wanted you to know I appreciate you telling me you exist. I'll reach out if and when I'm ready. Sophia. I hit send, closed the laptop, and made dinner like any other night. Some answers could wait. I had already found the ones that mattered most. Truth, boundaries, and the quiet strength to stand in my own light. Life felt steadier. Until the Tuesday afternoon 3 weeks later when I walked out of my office building in Center City. The sun was warm on my face. I was thinking about what to cook for dinner. Then I saw her. Mom. She stood by the entrance, thinner than before, wearing plain clothes instead of her usual designer things. Her hair was pulled back simple. She looked smaller, older, waiting. My steps slowed. My heart gave one hard thump, then settled into a calm, steady beat. She's here, after everything. Sophia, she said. Her voice cracked a little on my name. I stopped walking. The sidewalk felt hard under my shoes. Cars rushed by on the busy Philadelphia street, but everything else seemed far away. She looked smaller than I remembered. No fancy dress, no perfect makeup, just a plain coat and tired eyes. I've been trying to reach you, she said, taking one small step closer. You blocked my number. My emails bounced. That's on purpose, I told her. My voice came out calm and clear, the same way I talk to clients when their books are wrong and I have to fix them. I know, she whispered. I've been thinking a lot about everything. I wanted to say I'm sorry. Can we talk? Just coffee, please. I felt my chest tighten. For a second, old pictures flashed in my head. Her reading me stories when I was 5. Her laughing at my silly jokes. The way she used to call me my baby girl. That mom felt real once, but then I remembered the bill framed on the mantel. The stolen money. The lies. The way she looked at me like I was a mistake she wished she could erase. Grief hit me hard, sharp and deep, like a knife twisting slow. I loved you so much. I tried so hard for so long. Why wasn't that enough? No, I said quietly. You don't get to do this. You don't get to show up at my job and act like we can just talk it out now. That's not how this works. I'm your mother, she said, her eyes filling with tears. You're the woman who stole from me, lied to me and hurt me for 27 years because you couldn't face your own mistake, I answered. My hands stayed steady at my sides. We are not having coffee. We are not doing family therapy. We are nothing. Her face crumpled. Tears ran down her cheeks. You can't cut me out forever. I'm not cutting you out forever, I said. I'm cutting you out until you learn that when I say no, I mean no. That might be forever. That's your choice now, not mine. She reached out like she wanted to touch my arm, but I stepped back. Everything I did was to keep the family together, she cried. I was scared. I was only 19. I know, I told her, but I'm done paying for your fear. From now on, leave me alone. If you come to my work again, or call my boss, or try to turn anyone against me, the next talk won't be here. It will be with the police and the IRS. I have every paper, every email, every bank record saved. Identity theft, tax fraud, theft of my college fund. I will use them. Her face went white. She stood there shaking, looking like the strong woman I grew up fearing had disappeared. I felt sorry for her then, not enough to change anything, but sorry for the 19-year-old girl who made one bad choice and spent her whole life running from it. Sympathy and boundaries can live in the same heart. I had learned that the hard way. Goodbye, Mom, I said. I walked past her to my car. She didn't follow. In the rearview mirror I saw her still standing there, watching me drive away. My hands on the wheel didn't shake, not even a little. That's what freedom feels like. That night, Ethan and I sat on our new couch. He listened while I told him about her showing up. When I finished, he pulled me close. You did it, he whispered. You chose you. I nodded against his chest. For the first time in 27 years, I wasn't waiting for her to love me. I wasn't hoping she would change. I was enough, just as I was. A week later, Aunt Patricia called with the last updates. Mom tried to fight Grandma Harriet's new will. She screamed on the phone, called her senile. Grandma's answer was short and calm. You made your choices for 27 years. I made mine. Then she hung up. Dad's divorce was final. He sounded lighter when we talked. Brooke sent me one careful text saying she was getting therapy. I didn't answer yet. Some bridges take time. Life kept moving forward, steady and good. Sunday dinners with Dad and Grandma Harriet filled the weeks with quiet laughs. Ethan and I started looking at engagement rings last week. I said yes to the idea, my heart full in a way it had never been. The letter from Michael in Ohio still sits in my drawer. I'm not ready to call him. Maybe someday. Maybe never. That choice is mine now. If you're listening and you see yourself in my story, if you've ever been called the disappointment, the difficult one, the problem child, hear this. You are not what they say. You are not the sum of their mistakes. Setting boundaries isn't mean. It's how you save yourself. My mother sent me a bill for $389,000. She counted every diaper, every brace, every birthday party, but she never counted the cost of what she took from me. The years of wondering why I wasn't good enough, the nights I cried alone, the trust I lost. There is no price tag big enough for that, and there is nothing she can pay to get me back. I don't know if I'll ever speak to her again. That's okay. For the first time, the choice is mine. Dad and I still have dinner every Sunday. Grandma Harriet calls every Wednesday. My credit is clean. My loans are shrinking. My apartment feels like home because I built it. Ethan asked me to marry him last night. I said yes with happy tears. I'm Sophia Reynolds. My bill is paid in full. If these words stayed with you, if they carried the raw depth of pain turning into power, the quiet truth that sets you free, and the fierce light of finally choosing yourself, then I hope you'll take a moment right now to like this story and subscribe. Only if it truly touched you, the way it touched me, to live it and share it. Your support means I can keep bringing stories like this, stories that remind us we are never the disappointment they tried to make us. Drop a comment and tell me the moment that hit you hardest. I read every single one. Thank you for walking every step of this journey with me. We rise together.